Hey guys, I'm back with another Saturday video. Woo woo woo. I'm really taking this seriously this time. So today I'm gonna talk to you guys about my social phobia and anxiety disorders, I guess, phobias. I've always been always anxious, so we'll start with anxiety. I've always been anxious, and situations where I'm one-on-one with somebody makes me very um when I was going to college, my roommate, I was very nervous to get a roommate, and it just the idea of having somebody who didn't I always think of the worst possible thing that could happen. So I was thinking, hey, what if we don't get along? What if she hates me? What if she snores? I can't stand snoring. That's a completely different so when doing this, I was freaking out. I was like, I need a single room, blah 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 blah. So I got to school, I finally came to terms that, this is what's gonna happen, whatever. I actually started talking to her and it turned out okay. So at the end of the semester, she decided to go to a different college, and what I did was I was like, hey, now I can have that single room instead of going through that whole anxiety provoking thing again. Nope. My college was like, oh, we need to make sure that we have enough room for spring semester students, and I was like, okay. So what happened was I went on winter vacation completely okay with the fact that maybe I was gonna have a roommate. I come back, I don't have a roommate. And then they're like, oh, well, you should have a roommate in 2 to 3 weeks. And so I was like, okay, that's fine. Um, 2 3 weeks falls by, nothing. So they're finally like, all right, here, have your single room. And I was like, why did you put me through all that anxiety when I could have just gotten the room in the first place? But so during that time I was having panic attacks every time I thought about it, and I was freaking out, I couldn't focus, just the typical thing. I was a very nervous person, and I think it's always been like that. Whenever I go up to present something, I always freak out and get myself so nervous that I'm gonna mess up, and it's scary to think about messing up, and then I always think of the worst possible thing that could happen, and I freak out. So I think that's all I have to say about anxiety, and I guess that's why I have such an awkward personality. Um, so next we're going to talk about my social phobia. Um, I like the internet, and that's where I excel most. Um, Whenever I order food, I order it online. Um, Going and talking to somebody over the phone is very, very stressful. And it's been like that ever since I was younger. Every time a family member would call, I would beg my mom not to make me talk to them on the phone because it was just an awkward conversation. The only two people that I could talk to on the phone, well, the two types of people, I guess, were my grandma, just my grandma, not my cousin or whatever, and then my friends. And even then, talking on the phone with my friends was awkward. We could just I am each other. That makes me sound old. But we could always just I am each other, and it would be fine. Um Whenever I go to do an oral presentation, I get very, very scared and think of what could happen if I got something wrong. Would everybody laugh at me? When I'm sitting in a family setting, if I have a plate of food, I'll always ask my mom to go and throw it out for me, because what if I have something what if I fall? Those beginning of the school activities, I guess you could call it, scare me. completely, because the idea of talking to strangers in an unfamiliar setting scares me. So whenever I become, if I do decide to ever become a teacher, I'm not going to make my students do that. I order food online. When I was like a little younger, I would say like 6th or 7th grade, fifth grade, I guess. My cousin was away at college, and so she would like call on the phone like during family gatherings, and I would always have like the most awkward conversation about the weather, and I'm like, why are you making me do this? And so, I mean, now my mom totally understands like my anxiety and social like phobias, but like when I was younger, she didn't really, she thought I was just being like a little kid, or I just didn't like want to talk to them, but it was actually like a serious thing. Um, Other than that, I guess like I live a pretty normal life, except like whenever like my sweet mate wants to go out and have like fun, I'm kind of alone, and it kind of makes me sad. But I made friends here at college, um, so I guess that's a good thing. Um, yeah, I guess that's the end of the video because I don't have anything else to talk about. So I will see you guys next Saturday with a completely different video that I haven't made up yet. Alright, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.